All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
From the city country of Hinesville, Georgia. But I'm originally a city girl from the 305. So without further ado, I'm going to send it over to you, none other than Lady T. Come on, Lady T.
Thank you, Dr. Fab. I want to welcome each and every one tonight. This is a very juicy topic. So, of course, this is yours truly, Lady T, coming live from the 305. And I definitely want to hear what you have to say. Special K.
All right. Thank you, Lady T. Just want to thank you, everyone. I'm Special K. I'm here in the beautiful city, Savannah, Georgia, originally from New Jersey. And I'm just glad to be a co-host on tonight's show. We got a good topic. I know we're going to have some fun with this discussion, and thanks everyone for joining in tonight. And now we're going to move it on over. I'm going to pass it over to Action Jackson.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the show. It's going to be a great show, great audience, great fun. I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood. The man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. I got the echo going, but I'm making it flowing. And I'm passing it back to you, the CEO. Let it go. Come on and flow, Dr. Fab. Give it the gift of gab.
All right. Well, you definitely know what you're talking about, honey bunny. Because I can talk for 24/7. Kids say, "Oh, you just talk. You must have ADHD." I say I used to, but we didn't call it that back then. But nevertheless, let me just give you a little insight about Upscale Love for You. Upscale Love for You is formulated to entertain, educate, and facilitate self-help, self-love, and everything you want to know and wish to know about love, relationships, dating, and marriage. Yes, Upscale Love for You often uncovers hot topics and sensitive issues. Yes, it can be so sensitive, but guess what? We're going to talk about it all, because through it all, if you are struggling about certain issues, come on and join us, because we can talk about it, be about it, and guess what? We're going to get some action about it, because we got Action Jackson. You hear me? But nevertheless, whether you are seeking direction or just looking for a way to pass the time, we are definitely going to have great conversations, not good, not okay, but great conversations here at Upscale Love for You. So without further ado, and now that you know what we are here to do, we are definitely going to get started. And let me say, welcome, welcome, welcome. And tonight, we have a cast member, or one of our, I spoke him up, speak them up, they come straight through. We are going to go ahead and get started with the topic of tonight. And I'm just going to ask, how many of you that's in right now are actually single? If you are single, please put a 1 in the chat box. And if you like me and don't know how to put a 1 in the chat box, just raise your hand. Because everybody says that in today's society, people really don't want to be married. And I guess I must be one of the original OGs, because I want to get married again. I said I'm going to be like Elizabeth Taylor. I'm going to do it till I can't do it no more. That's right. So I only see one person that's in here that's single. So everybody else in here are married or spoken for. Is that what it is? Come on, be honest with me now, because I know 1 or 2. Miss Dukes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you married, Miss Dukes?
No, I'm divorced, but I'm in a relationship.
Gotcha. I got you. But listen, let me tell you about that now. You're in a relationship, understood.
Mhm.
I know ain't nothing like a good old relationship. But when a person asks you that question, are you single or you married? You are still classified as single.
Single.
All
Don't
right.
you
Now.
think?
Really?
Yes,
Don't
you are
you think,
single.
baby?
Maybe you guys define what single means, Dr. Fab.
I don't care
Dr.
how
Fab.
many
So
relationships you
I'm
in.
the only.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's kind of, I mean, I think that's, I understand, I guess, if you filling out documents and it's married, single, divorced, or separated.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm in a relationship, I wouldn't consider myself single, only for the simple fact if I meet someone that tries to talk to me in a way of getting to know me in a closer manner, I would tell them I'm in a relationship. So that means I won't be able to entertain them. So in that
Okay.
aspect, I say I'm not single, but I understand the concept of not, not married and being in a relationship.
All right. So long as everybody know, I just want to let you know, if you don't have a ring on and they're not tied, we are still single. Now,
I don't think I want to be married again.
you don't think you want to be married again?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't help. That's what y'all don't want. But Dr. Fabulous gonna try it till I can't. And listen, I ain't single because I want to be single. I'm single because God called my husband home. Because if he was living, I'd be right on here. Yes, I'm married. Honey, say something to him. All right, baby, I'll say something to you. So I'm just telling y'all that Dr. Fabulous, honey, I am on the market so hard. I got market. Those people that be standing next to the express line that say, I will work for food. I ain't gonna say I'll work, but I'm telling you, it's nothing. I say this every day. I tell my coworkers every day, honey, if somebody said, you can get your husband back if you give him part of your leg or a piece of your arm, girl, I'll be like Kunta Kinte. I have a half a foot. I wouldn't have no arm, but baby, me and my husband will be walking tall. If I could dig him up and that was all he needed was half of my foot, he would get it. But anyway, let me get back on track. Y'all just be throwing me all off.
Well, I guess I'm the only single one here, tonight.
Girl, girl, you single? They single, but they in a relationship.
Special K.
You just got to get in a relationship.
We go
okay. Lady
T,
T, you better have something waiting for me there too.
Listen. Ladies, honey, when we go on this cruise, Special K gonna have on that swimsuit so wonderful. They're gonna perform the ceremony on the ship, child. They're gonna perform
Don't
the
put me
ceremony.
out there like that. Okay, not ready for that.
So, anywho, back to topic, because the topic of discussion is, to all my single people, do you think that you would like to be single eternally? Meaning single till you go home to meet your maker. And I was just saying myself that I'm not that person that want to be single, because I think it's a headache today. I really do. It's so much when it comes down to dating, until I think it's almost like a strategy that you got to come up with a strategy when you're dating, because it's like playing chess. And I told someone just the other day, we went to our first Fridays, and I was like, most people when they go out, you used to have a selection to choose from. But nowadays, when you go out, they're like Miss Dukes. They're with someone, they're coupled up and everything. And a single woman might have a hard time trying to get a drink out these Casanovas this day and time. But I asked if you were single to put a 1. I got 1 back. And Dr. Feelgood, with his old sly self, he said he was a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess that's just how many. I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but
women. That's probably how many women he got.
Thank you, Bridget, for participating. Thank you, Ms. Rowe, for participating. And as I explained, if you're not married, but you got that deep connection, that's understood, but you're still single. So moving right along, the question is, do you think you want to be single until eternity? And I always say no, but the thoughts that Ms. Rose said, she don't think she want to be married again. Can you tell or give me some insight on that, Ms. Rose?
No, that wasn't me.
That was me, Miss Dukes, Tammy. I
Oh,
said that about the marriage.
oh, okay, okay. I thought because I can see the boxes lighting up and you all, she must have had some background noise just because hers lit up the same time yours did, Miss Duke. But I understand, I understand. So with that being said, I'm gonna move on into this. Now you said you don't feel like you want to get married again, Miss Duke.
Again,
Can I
yes,
ask you how many times have you been married?
twice.
You've been married twice. So out of
Yes.
those, out of the 2 times, are any of your husbands deceased, or they were
No,
by a different method of dismissal?
no, divorce.
Divorce.
The thing is, I don't have nothing against marriage. I actually love the idea of marriage, but where I am right now, today in my life, I I don't see marriage for me. I want to work on myself in some areas because when I don't want to be bothered, I don't want to be bothered.
Oh,
Um, and yeah,
I can
I
and
feel
got
I
that.
married young. I married young my first time around, and the second time I married for love. So hey, I done been there, done that. I haven't met a person in a relationship that I say, okay, I could consider it again. So yeah, no, I don't see that for me right now.
okay. Well, I'm gonna dig a little deeper, Miss Dukes, because I like to talk one on one. We just
Okay.
having this conversation. You said the first time you got married young, the second
Hmm.
time you married for love. So would
Right.
you say that your love dissolved for your second husband, or you all grew apart? Give me some.
We grew apart. My love kind of dissolved going in that growing apart because the things that I fell in love with, they were no longer there. He started doing things differently. We had conversation. We went to counseling. Like I tried, as far as I'm concerned, and he might have a different story, but I tried to make it work to find a solution. And it seemed like I was the only one trying. So at that point, it got to be more. I think it was better for us to divorce than to stay together because I wasn't happy at the end and he wasn't happy. And um, it was a lot of arguing, things that you don't want your kids seeing. I know I hear a lot of people say they stay married for their kids, but if my kids not seeing me happy, they seeing me arguing, they seeing the frustration in it. I don't think that's a good thing for them to witness either.
Correct. Because guess what? They're seeing toxicity. And
Yeah.
you don't want them to see that, live in that, and deal with that. Because when they
Right.
become older adults, guess what? I always say it's a cycle, a recycling. Now, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we got some lyrics about after the love is gone by Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that's that old Dr. Feelgood, our media man. He giving us some words, some lyrics. But you're absolutely correct. And especially as we are grooming daughters to be ladies, to be mothers, to be wives. And when you're in a situation like that, I can totally agree with you. But I was told by my oldest daughter just the other day, because we were having this conversation, and I was like, I know I was the epitome of a wife, a mother, and all of that, but you still chose to do X, Y, Z. And she told me, you're absolutely correct, mama, because you can't live my life and I'm not you. So when she said that, I understood the assignment. I've learned to let adults be adults. And even though I did not do any of the things that she has walked in her lane to do, I'm going to allow her to continue to do her. You understand? So
Right.
with that being said, I guess Dr. Feelgood is trying to find the song to play it. Are you planning on playing it, Dr. Feelgood? Okay, well, we're gonna just let
I
him.
am not.
So you know what? I like to see myself big, large, and in charge. So you can close it out if we're not gonna hear no music, because I want to see myself. That's right. I can't even get down if I can't see myself. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Now that sounded a little vain, but y'all know I ain't ashamed. Anywho, next, what I was getting ready to say is I saw something on Facebook and I thought, they got a point there. A lot of people always say that they are single by choice, but yet and still they be out at the club 24/7 trying to find someone. So do you all think that is a true statement that they
Um,
are single by
I,
choice? And the
I can,
question, wait, let me finish. The question say, when people say they are single by choice, what does that mean? Because inquiry minds really want to know if that is a true statement. Okay,
can I
so
answer?
anyone care to answer that?
I would like to.
Okay, go ahead,
This
Ms.
is it.
Dukes.
So when I've even said that, because I had friends that made reference to me not being married and being in a relationship, and I told them I'd rather be single for the right reasons to be in a relationship for the wrong reasons.
There you
And when
go.
I said I'm single by choice, it's the fact that I'm not going to accept a person that I know is not going to treat me right just to say I'm in a relationship.
Correct.
So that's my outlook. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but when I say that, it's because I'm choosing to choose me first and not just accept anything that come along to be in a relationship.
You're absolutely correct. Because you know what, baby girl? I always say, I don't need no trash to put in the garbage can. Because, it's all across the front yard. Pick it up, put it in the trash, and keep it moving. And when women choose to just accept anything to have something, to say they got something, I'm not
Exactly.
impressed with that. I'm definitely not impressed with that. And
Okay.
so another key point is when they say that they're single by choice, but yet and still they dealing with a married person. So do they really want to be single by choice? Are they dealing with that married person for financial gains? It's something, because there's nowhere in the world, and let me not give my views, but I am going to give my views. It is what it is. I could never see myself as being the other woman, because I guess I got that old stigma. If I can't be first and foremost, I won't be at all. So just like you said, you're single by choice because you're not willing to settle. I guess I'm that individual that I ain't gonna settle to say I got a man and he married to a woman, a whole woman with some receipts in her pocketbook being the wife. So that's all I got for you. I figured I'd stir up the pot, get it all wet and silky. Now I'm going to sling it right on over to the same special girl in the sweet sugar city of Savannah. So come on down, Miss K. Can you hear me, Miss K?
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't ready. I didn't know I was next in the lineup, but I'm ready. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Girl, you
it's
know what? I'm sorry, Lady T. I skipped right over you. My
yeah.
apologies.
It's
My
okay.
apologies.
You can save the best for last. It's
Oh,
okay.
okay, girl.
Uh-oh.
All right now. Tell us something. Go ahead. Just throw it up in the air. Whoever want to go, go. It's a free fall. I was about to say free fall.
Okay. Go, Lady Tia, go ahead. Go ahead. Take your spot.
Okay. Well, I mean, the topic tonight is very interesting, and I've been married twice. For those of you who do not know, and the first time I can say it was more so convenient. you live a lifestyle and they say, oh, you need to be married, you can't be shacking up and all this other stuff. And then it just, after 10 years, it just wasn't working for me. And now, like Mrs. Dukes, I married for love. Now, will there be a third time? No. Marriage is too much for me. It's too much work. I love being married. Don't get me wrong. I love having children. I love the whole nine. But should opportunity knock, I will not get married and I will live the single life and I will live. Of course, I'm not having any more children, but should, I have that option. Don't do it, Dr. Fab. Should I have that option, I will go all out and do the infertility. I would just live that single life and just, do me.
Okay, so what you're saying is, and let me reiterate, the first time you married more so for convenience, the second time is for love, but if the situation occurs, there would never be a third time. If your husband passed, and I know you married him because, in the same shoes, my husband was husband number 2, and he passed. And I'm going to look, I am not going to look because God is going to send me husband number 3. And if he should pass, he going to send me number 4. He going to send me number 5. And he going to send me number 6, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Look at that.
Oh, get it, girl. Y'all, just look on over there.
But then we're going to have to wonder why so many husbands passing.
Why they passing?
Right.
Well, listen, like the old people say, she got a curse over her life.
Listen, all jokes aside, I used to tell all my girlfriends, I said, I'm like Stella. I got my groove back because I was determined that I just never liked old men. God forgive me. If all my prospects out there is old, I guess I'll still be single because I've never enjoyed dealing with older men. And my husband was actually 9 years younger than me. And when we got married, I told someone, I said, child, I'm marrying a young man, so he could be here. I can be on my old walking cane, this and that and the other, and he'll still be up, And God, he saw fit to call him home, But even to this day, I'm 59. So I don't like men my age. I would date from 49 to 54 being the oldest. And that's just, I know y'all looking at me like, Dr. Fabulous, you done bumped your coconut. But that's just me, and everybody have a choice. Now let me get back on topic. I am not the person to be single. Single till eternity will be out the window because I'm a little behind times, but by next year, I'm gonna be sending y'all out wedding invitations. Mark my word. All right, and it's gonna be in the big, beautiful city.
I'm not that one, Dr. Fab. I want to live my best life. I'm like Dukes.
I live your best life, but I'm gonna live my best life with a partner, and we are going to be legally married. So knock on wood 3 times. Yes, Tata. Yes.
So let me ask you this. So are you afraid of, being alone?
No. And you know what? People don't make you happy. You make yourself happy. But I am at my happiest when I'm with my mate. I enjoy myself. I enjoy my life right now. But I would probably be ecstatic if I had a mate because I'm naturally a happy person anyway. But with my husband, with a mate, child, I'm too much to handle. You looking at me like my answer's not gonna change. They're gonna stay the same.
No, hey, I just want to know because you have different flavors.
Yeah, that's it. I like a man with dreads and Timberlands. Let me stop clowning because wait, because if you bald headed, and let me stop. Okay, y'all.
I like
Hey,
the bald headed man.
hey,
I have
hold on
not
now,
been
hold on.
drinking. I
It's
have
ball.
not
Hey,
been
hey,
drinking.
you
Going
can't
on.
take, you can't.
I have not been
Chocolate.
drinking, but some coconut water to flourish my kidneys.
I'm done.
Nothing like
You
rubbing
got
on
some
that
chocolate.
ball
You got some
head.
chocolate chip on
Hold on.
Oh,
the
look
show.
at Dr. Feelgood talking about he want a girl with extensions in her hair. Okay, LL.
And
That's
bamboo
right.
earrings.
Look, we
At
have
least
not
two
come.
pair.
At least 2 pair.
Right.
Okay, I guess I got everybody's feathers ruffled.
Not necessary.
Feathers, we all just got our preferences.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Oh, the board is
Okay,
silent.
Tata, where you at? What are your thoughts? This is our good spicy girl.
Tata, what you laughing about? You done had your little sippy
Agreed.
sip.
No, wait a minute. First of all I gotta say is for 59, ma'am, you're looking good. I need the secrets. I
Girl,
want all of
let
it.
me tell
I
you,
want the
it don't
recipes.
crack. It don't crack. I keep it right, honey. And I don't even use oil of Olay.
I want all of it. I want the recipe. I want it. That's what I want. And I've always liked older men, but I'm on my second marriage, so I guess everybody here is on the twos. I just feel like a lot of women feel this way, and not just women, but men. I feel like a lot of people feel this way because the standard is not what it used to be. I feel like over time, there's like a different standard now. Of I just feel like maybe it's not what it used to be coming to date. It's I don't know. It's just I feel like dating right now is messy. I feel like a lot of people don't want to start like over like the whole starting from scratch, getting remarried and properties and dealing with all that stuff. It's just as you get older, you want peace. And it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with Tasha. I feel like if you already had the kids, you already went through certain experiences, and maybe if you want to like retire with somebody and have a companion, like we're not meant to be alone. We're meant to connect. We're meant to live this life, to share this life and share and have
You better go
memories.
on and preach, because I ain't meant to be alone.
But I just feel like a lot of people are they don't want to settle. Like that's where it's coming from. Essentially, it's really all coming from the same place of we don't want to settle. Like if I'm gonna end up settling with some half-assed person that's not gonna give and be committed to me, and that's what's gonna be, and then eventually we're gonna have to. It's gonna be messy. Then I'd rather just not do it. And I feel like a lot of people feel like, and I feel like the last time on it's like there's over time it's like you start to learn, you start to grow, especially women. Like we go through certain stages of our lives where it's like, especially when you have kids, you're giving so much of your body. You're constantly, as a woman, you constantly are taking care of the household, you're taking care of the man, you're taking care of everybody, and we're always the last one to take care of ourselves. And it's like I feel like there's a lot of people that there's a lot of women that just say like, I don't know if I want to do it again. Like I don't know if I want to put myself out there and go through all that drama and the stress and put my body through all of that. It's like you feel like you went from being I went from living with my mom and living with my parents and then go straight into a relationship, and then you're taking care of a man and you're taking care of the children. And it's like I feel like a lot of women want to enjoy their youth and what they got left of it, and do the things they want to do. Like you already raised kids, you already gave your body, you already took somebody else's last name. You want to enjoy like what's left of your identity. I feel that
You
way.
better preach, Tata. Y'all
Okay,
pass the collection
please.
plate.
Okay, please. I'm
Don't
telling
get
you, I'm on
that song.
marriage number 2, and I ain't gonna do it again. No, sirree. I'm gonna be on the cruise with y'all in my thong, and I'm gonna live my best life.
You better wear it, Tata. You better wear it, because we sure gonna take pictures and post them. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that brings up a couple of subjects.
Okay. All right. Well, I hear what you're saying, Tata. But there's always a but, because there could be someone that will come and sweep you off your feet. Now, I know as we get older, we want that. Well, I want that companion. I can't say we because we're not speaking French, but I want that companion. And I just feel, and I know this just might be old fashioned. They say if she don't get her old butt, listen, I ain't, as you said, taking care of the household, the children, this and that and the third. I just can't see myself. I should not say doing it for free, but I can't see myself doing it, period, if we're not legal. And I guess I just have that thing where I can't play Mrs. Jones if I'm not Mrs. Jones. And there you have it. How you doing, Dottie? Welcome, Dottie. Welcome, Jerome. Welcome, everyone. I just feel so good tonight. And I was telling someone else, I said, it's getting good, it's getting good. And they say, why? I say, because when I start feeling like I'm feeling, I know something great is getting ready to happen. Andreen, you got your hand up. Miss Tasha, Miss Lady T is waiting on you.
Go ahead, Andreen.
Okay, so
this doggone Tata over here in the chat, you all for a long time, I could not see the chat, and now I'm seeing it, and Tata is giving us all kind of stuff in this chat over here. But go ahead, Andreen.
Okay, so I have been married for a long time, which I think, I feel like I was married and I've done that. And now I feel like my kids are older. I definitely want a partner, but I don't need that marriage. I don't need that title. And I feel like marriage is so much, and I feel like relationships in general are work, but adding that whole piece is not something I necessarily need. So at this time,
let me ask you this, Andreen. I hear what you're saying. Listen, everybody got to get their tires rotated every now and again. Right. I always say pull in, get that fill up, get that tire rotated, get your gas, get your oil change, all that good stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my question to you is, when you want a partner, and I feel it's a beautiful thing. If I got a friend, you stay in your house, I'm going to stay in my house because I'm not cleaning up after you and I'm not cooking for you. And I might cook for you one time or two times, but I don't need that live-in situation that I'm doing the work as a wife and not a wife. Now, if I got a friend and he's in his own house and I'm in my own house and we just meet up every now and again when those tires need rotating, or, you know, you need your oil change, he's a good service person, you know, that's fine. But I can't see myself being with someone 24/7. He laying up in my face, blowing hot air in my face, and I'm not Mrs. Jones. Heck no. So is that the kind of situation you like, Andreen, or do you like to be with them 24/7 and all that good stuff?
I don't know if I need 24/7. I'm not sure. I feel like if I desire that, then I probably will feel like, oh, maybe I should put a title on it. But I feel like we only feel that way because society tells us that. I don't know if that's so much of a necessary thing. I feel like to each his own, and you can choose to have your relationship be the way you choose to have it be.
And you're absolutely correct, because do you all remember, I'm going to take it all the way back. Do you all remember the singer Brandy? Do y'all remember Brandy? Somebody, anybody. But anyway, when Brandy had come up with all this here bone full of mook, that she had gotten married, this and that and the other, and had a baby. I think she was trying to save face for her mama, because her mama was probably one of them saved, sanctified women and didn't want her child to have no child out of wedlock and all that good stuff. But then when she came back and said that they were married under the covenant of, was it a black string or something she said, and they had never been married. So, you know, I think sometimes when we look for situations to say, hey, I'm not married, but I'm living with someone, that's understandable, because that's what you want to do, and you have that right Gosh, I'm talking like I've been drinking. I ain't been drinking, y'all. Just so y'all know, I've had coconut water only. But sometimes people get caught up with that situation because guess what? When you're living at 24/7 with someone, but you're not legally, guess what? When that person step out of line or he meet the other Mrs. Jones and he do what he do or she does what she does, then you're still standing there like, I can't believe this person did this. I've given him 7 years and this is what he does. Because in the news the other day, this lady said she had lived with this man for 14 years. Can y'all believe giving your time, shacking up, living with somebody for 14 years? And guess what, y'all? He walked away and married another woman in a matter of a month. And guess what? She was so angry, she put out a hit to try to kill him and the woman. I say, Sally Sue, don't get mad because you gave him 14 years of your life and he didn't marry you. See, that's what I need to talk about. I need to have a special show just for that. If you that smart to stay with an individual for 14 years and he doesn't marry you within them 14 years, I ain't even gonna give a person a whole year and a half. I don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying. But 14 years, this man did not marry her. She had 4 kids from this man. And in a matter of a month, he walked away and married someone different. Oh, I know her face was tight. Now, Sister Lady T, Andrine, you got anything else you would like to shed light on?
Oh no, I'm good.
You good?
Well, see, my thoughts are, I mean, I think people are getting wrapped up into men. I'm sorry, men. I normally do not bash you, but I just have to say this. Men are not made like how they were, the chivalry, the respect. Just because you had a child from a man, they like totally respected you and they catered to you regardless of how many side pieces they had. And they were there for you. They would work 2 and 3 jobs just to make sure that their wife was taken care of. And I just feel like nowadays marriage is a piece of paper, and the world, the government has made it to where you really don't need that paper. You can get a house, you can get insurance, you can have children, you can do everything. So it's all about whether you want to spend the rest of your life with someone or you want to do you, live how you want to live, and then every now and then get tuned up from whomever you choose.
Okay, but we understand what you're saying. You said that with it being a wife, a man respected the household, respected the wife, and now that's not so. I can't say that, but what I can say is very far and hard to find that man that still have morals, still have chivalry. And chivalry is not dead, because when you have a checklist, and maybe that's why I'm still running behind schedule, because I got a checklist. And if it didn't come up to par to where my husband was, I ain't even gonna look at you, because I ain't trying to go backwards. I'm trying to go further, farther, forward. If you meet some of the standards or most of the standards that my husband had, I could give you a little conversation. But if you don't, I ain't even gonna waste my time with you, because I know how it is to be truly loved, treated like a lady, respected, and all that good stuff. You said it is cheap to get married, but expensive to get a divorce. You're absolutely
Very
correct.
true. That's
You're
true.
absolutely correct, Miss Duke. So I'm gonna shoot it on. Lady T, you got anything else for us?
No, Dr. Fab, that's it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come on down to Special K, because I know Special K got something good for us.
Okay, thank you. So with tonight's topic, when I started to do a little research, so I came across something I wanted to share that says there are nearly 38 million adults living alone in the United States, where the share of single person households has reached a record high. And that's according to the census data. So that kind of goes back with our topic tonight about, living life single. So it's becoming a more common thing. So it makes me wonder, and I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Do you personally think that more women and men are choosing to stay single? If so, why? And is traditional marriage still the goal nowadays? And I heard some people speaking already. Some want that marriage, as Dr. Fabulous says, and then there's some that are completely fine. I think especially if you've been there and done that type of thing, I can really relate to what Andreen was saying about how you just kind of you done raising kids, or if you've done all of this for most of your life, sometimes you just want to, being single is not always bad. It's not really a bad thing, I would say. I think it is just basically to each his own. So we could hear from anyone on the panel that would like to share their thoughts. Do you think more women and men are choosing to stay single these days, or do you still feel that marriage is still the main goal? Would anyone like to answer that or share your thoughts?
Come on, Jerome, give us your thoughts. You know you want to tell us. Come on, Jerome. I know you listening.
My thoughts is, I don't know what's my thoughts. I don't personally, in the stage of my life right now, I don't want to be married. I don't see myself being married, but I'm not opposed to it. So if the right person come along and we everything is good, yeah, I would. But right now, no, because I'm just like focusing on myself, focusing on my career, and I don't want to.
Can I ask you something, Jerome? Do you feel that at this time in your life, being married would get in the way of what you're trying to, accomplish right now, or slow you down in some way?
Yes. Yes, I would want that. I would want the type of marriage or the type of relationship where I'm already established. You get what I'm saying? So I want to have my house in my name, my cars in my name. I don't want to have to go through if God forbid we go through a divorce, then we got to figure out who the house go to. But I don't want to do that. I want everything on my own. The person can have everything on their own, and that's what I want.
Okay, so
I would want to build my life up myself.
Ooh, Jerome, it's burning me. It's burning me. I got to get on up in here, Jerome. Listen, Linda. Let me tell you. Now, I'm from the old school. God knows I'm from the old school. But it is nothing like sharing love with an individual. And you start out eating peanut butter and jelly together, and then you advance and y'all conquer the world. And then you got filet mignon, caviar, the whole nine together. Baby, you have built your castle together. And when you get married to someone, that's the reason why I feel like a lot of marriages don't work, because you go in with that mindset, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. When you go together as one, it should be yours, your ours. And that's what I always will say. Even though my husband was 9 years younger than me, his theme song was, we started from the bottom, now we're here. And Lady T can attest, it wasn't a thing in the world. He had nothing when we met. But when we build together, it was sweeter than honey, Jerome. So I understand you say you want to have your own, but when you go into a marriage thinking like, if we have to get a divorce just to be mine, that's not the way you do it. Well, that's not the way I look at love. I look at love saying we are coming together as one, and we're going to build and grow as one. Now, I can't read all this, obviously. Okay, I
But
hear
you know
you.
what? It
But I
seems like
understand what you're saying.
right. And I get that too, Dr. Fabulous. So I agree with that to a point. But in but reality is that marriages don't always go the way that
Like
fairy tale that we
I got
expected, right?
you.
So
I got
you're
you. I
good,
got
with yours.
you. Yes.
But for the reality of a lot of people, it doesn't. And then when divorce happens, a lot of times in reality, the men get the bad hand of it. The woman usually is going to walk away with that house, especially if there's kids involved, and the men get left out with
Girl, well,
nothing
you better
a
not
lot of
move to
times.
Florida because that's not the way it work in Florida. Because you can find my first husband and dig him up because he was trying to stay married to a set amount of time because he thought he was gonna get his hands in the cookie jar to get what I had been left. I was like, Negro, you got the wrong soul sister because I know the law. You think you gonna stay here an extra time or two to get
So
what's
he
my
left with
parents?
nothing, right?
So he left with nothing because I
See,
divorced that
that
coon
was
cat
my
me out
point.
before. You better ask somebody, y'all ladies. If you got a little something, you better know the law. That's all I got to tell you. That's all I got to tell you.
So I just can agree, and I can see it from both standpoints. I can see why someone would want. I don't believe that we were made to be alone, either. I don't. How you work it is just your choice, but I can see also why some people could be a little hesitant or not want marriage at the end of the day because a lot of times that can happen. You can lose a lot. Divorces can be nasty. Divorces can drain you. It's not a fun thing, but to each his own. But distinguished brother, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to chime in. There's so many things that have come up, but just to touch on one, as far as being in a marriage or being ready for marriage, or like Jerome was saying, he wanted to get everything in place before getting married. I think that's part of the problem, in my opinion. Yes, I'm not saying stop what you're doing. I'm not saying go for what you got to go for, get everything that you can get. But during the course of the getting, if you find that person, that woman that compliments you, that woman that can be there as your support, your comfort, that makes, even when your day has gone to hell in a handbasket, when you get home
You better preach.
and that person is there for you, that makes it just so much better. And as far as the chivalry thing is concerned, and finding that man that wants to open that door, wants to help, pull out your chair, wants to serve you dinner, wants to rub your feet, give you that back rub. There are some of us that are still out there, but we get shot down for it a lot of times too. There's nothing more, I guess, discouraging than when you're trying to be that gentleman and the woman is not appreciative. I can pull my own chair. I can open my own door. I don't need you to do anything. It's not that you need, it should be that you want. And if we both want and we both give without having to have a need for it, we do it because we genuinely want to, that also enhances the experience of life. That makes things so much better because I want to share this with you. I want to do things for you. I need to have you in my life and I want to show that to you. But if you're going to keep throwing it up in my face, then why the hell should I keep bothering?
Well, I think he
That's all.
spoke a word. I think he spoke a word. I do. I do. I really do.
Well, I mean, do you think that because we want to get everything in order and get ourself, like focus on ourselves, do you think we're selfish?
No, but I think that hurts in the long run because, and I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound insulting.
Just give it to us raw.
Well, I mean, that's usually how it is, but I try to be polite every now and then. Every now and then, I try to be nice about it. But here's how I feel. Over the course of the years, women have been taught, get everything you need, Don't depend on a man. Do what you need to do for you. Yada, 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 yada. By the time somebody come along that wants to get all up in your face, wants to get all up in your area, wants to be that man, that support for you, that protector, that provider, you have been so hardened against not
And I'll
needing
pause
something
that.
that you can't open up and let that someone in. You can't drop the walls long enough for that person to get in there. And we get tired of bashing our heads against the damn wall. So we just stop. Or we turn into the dog and we realize, hey, it's 20 of y'all to one of us. So I can do this to this one, this to that one, this to the third one. Why should I worry about concentrating on a woman? Because y'all don't appreciate having a good man in the first place. So no, there's nothing wrong with getting your own. The problem comes in is when you think that that's all you have to do. And then you go back and look for a man. By the time you've gotten everything, what the hell am I there for? You don't need me for money.
Rotate them tie. I'm just kidding.
You don't need me for sex. You don't need me for anything.
I'm just
So
teasing.
what the hell am I going to do with you?
To oil.
And you don't even
Thank-
need me for that. You dip your damn foot in the bathtub. You got your oil in there. You got 500 vibrators in the cabinet. You
Oh,
know,
not 500.
with what they coming out now,
Five, not 500.
you got
5.
500
We
in the
like them
cabinet,
all flavors and styles and textures.
and you got the what are you the
Rose.
mail order doll. So what the hell are we there for?
No,
Not
Tracy's
the
dog and the rose.
Wait a minute, but you all
What's
got
fake?
the women and the fake vagina.
No. We do, but I guarantee you, every man on here would much rather have that warm, luscious body over having some silicone doll.
I'm on silicone.
Where-
That's right. And ladies, y'all better stop with that silicone mess. Y'all gonna have yeast.
But
coming
it
out your
feels
nostrils.
real.
But then y'all have so many different variations that we can't keep up. We can't twist this way. We can't move 500 times a second. We can't do a complete 360 with our thing and then 360 the other way while it's vibrating and going in and out all at the same damn time.
But you gotta
Come on.
focus. You gotta focus on the clitoris, and you have to understand it and watch the body,
That
watch
don't
the
work either
eyes,
because half of
and
y'all
then you'll
complain
be
that
that
that's not the
vibrator.
only thing. And then when we go for the 2-for-1, y'all like, well, why?
What's
So
the 2
my
for
point
1?
that I'm making,
Wait. What's the 2 for
we'll,
1?
I'll get back to the 2-for-1, but the point that
Oh,
I'm
okay.
making
I
is
want to
that
know. Inquiry minds want to know.
the point that I'm making is that women have been conditioned so much, and especially the Black woman, so much to stand on your own, to be that strong Black woman, to not need anything, to do everything for yourself, that by the time somebody like me or some other men on here come around, we got to fight so damn hard to get in there. And I'm not talking about just sex, just to be in your world, just to be that man for you. We don't know what our role is. You don't know how to handle our role. And so we just move on to the next one.
Okay, but you know what? I understand you said women, some women, because you know what? I've always been taught, and like I say, maybe I'm old school because my mom was a dynamic mother, wife, so forth and so on. Her mom was the same. So I was actually, as they say, you know how in other countries they groom their girls to be married, how to act like a lady, do da 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 da. So when you're groomed a certain way, or if that's your lifestyle, if that was your childhood, all you saw was a good mom, a good dad. Because I think I started playing in my first wedding at the age of 12 because I wanted to be just like my mom, get home. Well, my mom wasn't, she was a full-time housewife. She didn't work nowhere on a pie train. And she would cook. And the thing back then was she would cook dinner, have the table set, when my dad come home from work. But guess what, y'all? We couldn't eat until my dad got home. Oh, heck no. Didn't nobody eat before the daddy, before the king of the castle. And so when I got married, that's what I anticipated. I thought that my first marriage was going to be just like my parents. But my first husband didn't want to be married. He wanted to get something out of nothing. You see what I'm saying? So he thought he had come up on the come up. But that wasn't working for me because, like I said, you got to know the law. But my second husband, I didn't mind cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I didn't mind cooking lunch for his crew, for the company. So, it's certain things when that's embedded in you, that's what you look forward to doing. And when you have those trickers, because we have some men that are trickers that find women that say, oh, I got to coming on. You got to be, it's almost like playing chess. That's what I said earlier. We got several hands up. Lady T, Leanne, go ahead. Special K, bring them in.
Okay, Leanne.
Okay, good evening.
Good
I'm gonna
evening.
do twofold, Dr. Fab.
Do it.
It depends on how you were raised. Even
Mm-hmm.
if your mother didn't work, she probably still instilled in you to be independent.
Well, no, I can't say that. My mom, independence, I guess, was a different language. Even though she didn't work, she took care of the house, but she stood, I always say, behind every good man, there's a good woman. She stood behind my dad. She made my dad who he was. So therefore, that's what I saw. My dad was the one that said, girl, you better go and get yourself a good education because you don't like to work hard and you don't need no lazy Negro in your life because you ain't never had to want for nothing. So you better do what it needs to do to get it done. And so my thing was, if I get a good education, if I get a good education, I'll be able to stand on my own. But I always wanted that man, even though I could take care of myself, I always wanted a husband that could provide for me and my kids, and I could just live that lifestyle of staying home and being his queen. But I'm gonna make sure he was taken care of like a king. I always wanted that. Shoot, child, please. I ain't never
And
want to
in your
work.
first marriage,
My first marriage was a
he
big
showed
old.
you the sign. People have symptoms and signs and wishes and ways and
No, that
cycles
Booger
and
Bear
circles.
he had built up a good old woo. He had drew a picture perfect lifestyle, but then it was always the man was on his back. And I was like, Joker, if I'm going to work, oh, I know you gonna work because I ain't seen a man yet that I'm gonna take care of. But anyway, so forth and so
He
on.
didn't show no symptoms. Okay. So, and to speak to, it was that distinguished gentleman growing up in some households, and I'll say it like this because you might have had it like easy, Dr. Fam.
Mm-hmm.
Some girls did not grow up where the father was either in the home or making ends meet, which made a woman go to work. And when mom came home after working, she still had to do her motherly, wifey duties of cooking and cleaning. Back then, I have a lot of brothers and sisters. So a lot of times back then, birth control wasn't used as strongly, and it was a lot of kids. So your mother would tell you, you need to do this, this, and that, and become independent because you never know what you're going to get. A lot of women were taught their children to go to school, get an education, and go to college to find what? A husband. So it wasn't just being independent. The way women in these days and time became independent is because the man that they were with or the men that they were with did not do what they were supposed to do, which makes them stronger. Except if you got these young boomers who are not boomers, Gen X or whatever you want to call this time, these girls are used to using men for money. We didn't do that in the boomer days. That's being done now. So when you say a strong woman, independent, it was the men that made them independent.
That's right, Leanne. I have to agree with you on that one. That's a very good, valid point because we as women can go into a relationship, with a man, things might be good, kids can come out of it, and then if that man sometimes gets up and leaves or whatever it may be, just not doing right, and it puts us in a position to have to still carry on because we still got these kids to take care of, we still got to keep a roof over our head, hence there becomes the independence. And then some women just go out and they get it, now they got it, and now they're like, hey, I don't want to be put back in that situation again. And I think for a lot of times that has happened because there's a lot of women out here that are single and have no choice, or single parents, but to do for themselves. But Lady T, you had your hand up. Well, I'm sorry, Leanna, did you have anything else you would like to say?
No, I just wanted to let them know it works both ways for why women are stronger sometimes, because it depends on what they experienced.
So I can 100% agree with that. Lady T, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just want to add to that. I mean, okay, with my background, I was raised by my great grandparents, and up until the age of 13. So I was very domesticated. Like, we did everything natural, homemade. And yes, you are right, Dr. Fab. Like, they literally groomed us to present ourselves in a certain way to our husbands, cook, clean, to make sure this is done, that is done. And I feel like personally, given my story, I think if my grandparents didn't focus so much on that, I think the choices that I would have made would have been totally different. Because when I moved out to California for a short period, and then I lived here in Florida for, pretty much most of my life, like my whole world changed. It's like, I want more. I need more. I want to see more. I want to do more. I don't want to be bound to being wifey. I want to be more than that. And I mean, in some cases, you may be torn with that traditional marriage lifestyle. But in most cases, and nowadays, it's like, it's so much more to life than just being wifey and mother. Like, you need to revamp some things and even educate your daughters. Hey, you can be whomever you want to be. You can be a wife, you can be the president, you can be so much more, not just confined to a box. And I feel like if I was given a different hand, I think I would have been like, marriage, I don't think I would have had. I don't think I would be on my second marriage.
Lele can go too. Where's Lele?
What do you mean, Lady T? What made you think the other way, that you want to be more than just a housewife? What made you go into that mode? Because at first you believed it, right? At first you believed it. So what made you go into that zone of, I need to be more than a housewife?
Because coming from a small city, it's like, that's the goal, to grow, to get your education, to work in a factory or be a teacher or nurse. But then when you got a taste of the city life and you see, oh, I can have this, I can have that, I can go this place, I can own this, I can start my business. It's like your mindset totally changed. Well, mine did. And I was like, okay, I can be more than a wife. I can be more than a mother. I can, be an entrepreneur, which is something, like, where I'm from, only the others did that. And, we were made to either work in the farms, work in the factories, or some sort of, lifestyle, go to college, be an educator, be a nurse, or something like that. So just taking me from that country environment and placing me into the city is like my eyes just opened up.
So what truly made you independent, Lady T?
Well, that came from being in foster care. That came from living with a grandmother who was on drugs. So I had to fend for myself. I had to figure it out. Like, I'm 15, 16. I'm trying to figure it out. And once you're like backed, up against the wall, then you got to figure out options. And you're like, either I'm going to survive or I'm going to die. And that's the choice that made me a little bit more independent and pushed me to say, you know what? If I can go through that, I can go through anything. I can do anything.
Or I can do bad all by myself.
Right.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that was the hand that was dealt to me, and I had to survive. And that pushed me to the point to where I said, okay, I want more for myself. I want, more for my son. And I just started moving. I just started making moves.
Okay, so I'm going to direct this to the distinguished gentleman. It's okay that a strong woman wants a husband or a mate, but it's just going to be a little different going into a relationship with a woman like that. That's where communication comes in, and truth and honesty. Because strong women, they want companionship. They want that man laying next to them too. But when that man cannot do right, then what do? They have to revert back to that independent, strong woman. So yes, men, it is difficult dating a strong Black woman. But if you're not insecure and you doing the right thing and you got your foot down the right way, then it's an easy thing. But when you sneaking like that man that Dr. Fab was with at first, when you trying to lie, cheat, steal, and kill, that's what happens.
Okay.
And a woman, when you get ready to shoot them down, they're going to end up shooting you down. I'm done.
All right. Well, my hand up is up, Special K.
Mm-hmm. I know I saw, okay, I don't think she's on. Well, Tata had her hand up at one point, but I see she is it down. So
okay, well, I was coming back.
Tell Tata she Black too.
Yeah, she say she Latinas. I understand.
Yeah, but she Black too.
But
that's what I meant, Tata.
It's in there.
Yeah, let me clarify. Now, when I say I was groomed to be a wife, I should have said this: groomed to be a wife and a mother, this and that and the other. And then Lady T said domesticated. See, the difference is I wasn't groomed to be domesticated. I was groomed to live a certain lifestyle with a certain staff, wait staff, because I'm not domesticated at all. Now, to have someone come in and do the domestication duties, that was the way. My mom was that woman that said, okay, and I have to be a little braggadocious. She had her home and Better Homes and Gardens when Black people didn't get on the magazine cover and things of that nature, but it wasn't from her domesticated duties. She had a wait staff. And so when I say groomed, and in certain countries, they put their children together with this particular person because they have a certain quality of life. So that was what I meant when my mom said groomed me to be that wife. It was just that, and you all heard that my first husband was in the trickery business, he thought he had got the gold mine where he was going to get what I had that was left from my parents. But because I knew, my eyes was open when my mom helped me see, girl, when you go to work, that joker greasing up his legs and getting out the house, but he's telling me that he can't make it because everybody is stepping on his neck and he trying to get a lawsuit. man, get up out my face, because you looking at what we have and you thought you had hit the gold mine. But I got rid of that joker real quick, because in South Florida, ladies and gentlemen, if you stay with someone past 7 months in a day, they can come in with nothing and take half of what you got. So you know what? My mom was like, baby, you better let him go. You better let him go. And I listened to my mom, because I knew
Prenup.
you can't get what I got, because I'm going to let you go. So anyway, my mom, as I said, was grooming me to be that wife. And that's what I wanted. And when I met my second husband, it all panned out the way it should have. So I'm still looking for husband number 3. Figured I'd throw that out there. All right. Now I'm going to put my hand down and I'm done, Special K.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the time, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to I believe it distinguished brother.
No, it was actually Dr.
Action
Feelgood.
Dr.
It's Dr. Feelgood, then distinguished. Wait, okay. It was Dr. Feelgood. I know he was supposed to come after you. So,
I could pass
Dr. Feelgood, you ready?
I could pass my time off to distinguished brothers today, but I will say a couple of things since I've been pretty silent today. The biggest thing is that, you know, less people want to get married because the system is jacked up. Just like the thing that you said with your first husband, you had you didn't want to give up stuff. Now guys are like that these days because women, and I'm not saying all women, but the majority of modern women today want the ceremony and think of the marriage as just something they have to endure. They don't want to do those things that their parents did because they look at it as being a slave, but they expect the man to do everything that he's required to do, provide, protect, problem solve, etc. A lot of people want to live the life of luxury, but they really don't want to work for it. And but in today's society, people are not, people get married once and it's like, doesn't work. I won't do it again. But the problem is never the end of the marriage or the end of the relationship. And so the problem is actually at the beginning because we don't vet folks. We don't look at folks. We don't take time to know folks. And if you're getting married within a year of meeting somebody, in my opinion, sometimes that's a little too soon because you really don't know. Go ahead, Jerome.
No, I just want to touch back on what we were talking about previously. My mom, when we was talking about like the environment you grew up in, my mom was a single mother. And growing up, and as I got older, I remember telling myself, oh, I want to be just like my mama. I want to do everything on my own. I want to have everything by myself. Like, so that is true about, about where you grow up. Because my mom did everything. She never had a man. I ain't never seen her with a man. She did everything on her own. So I think that's where it comes in saying that, I want to have everything on my own. And if a man or if my significant other comes, then that's secondary. But me, like my stuff to be first. So where you grew up is very true.
That's the thing is that sometimes, especially in single parent homes, the child doesn't get to see both parents working together to further them to go forward. So if you had you have a strong mother, she's forced to do everything. And sometimes what she doesn't do, she passes on to the oldest child. If you're an oldest child, you understand what I'm talking about. You become the chief babysitter, the cook, the backup cleaner. Also, you look at things to where women in the last 20 to 25 years, women initiated 70% of dissolutions of relationships. The number one reason was not infidelity. It was not. It was not it wasn't harming, being harmed. It was, I'm not happy. And what does I'm not happy mean? Meaning, both men and women, but women have unrealistic expectations of how marriage is supposed to go. We grew up on, girls play with Barbies, and like Dr. Fab said, she thought she was going to get married at 12. She was planning her wedding since 12. Guys don't think like that. We just think of, most guys think of, what am I going to do in my life? Once you figure you're not going to be a professional astronaut, basketball player, surgeon, you figure out what you want to do in life. You want to get a good woman. You want to have, for most part, not everybody wants a good woman. Some men like chaos in their lives. You want to be able to provide for that woman. You want to have children, and you want to live the American dream. Well, in these days, those days are long gone. The American dream is no longer what it was when our parents were growing up. Long gone are the days where you just needed a high school diploma, you work at the factory, you get a decent job, you do your 20, 30 years, you retire, you raise your kids in that 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, 820 square feet, and that was life. That was life. But once with the advent of mass media, radio, and television, and now the internet, we're seeing things that we didn't even see even 50 years ago. We didn't see a lot of this stuff. We just, it was just some faraway place, but now we see it. And guess what we want to do? We want to go to those places. But a lot of times we have, for the most part, we have champagne dreams and beer money, not even beer money, old duels pockets. So a lot of us prioritize having fun over security, because fun is fun, security is boring. And then we wind up getting in those situations, your significant other's talking about, why can't we go here? Why can't we go there? Well, I like having clothes and having rent in my, having a roof over my head, and something halfway decent to drive to get me to work 90% of the time. But that's not enough. And some people will take that and be like, well, no, I'm not happy. Johnny down the block makes me happy because he drives a Beamer, and you drive a BM, a black man walk. So those are the things that we get today. So a lot of men are just saying, hey, I can't afford a wife, so I'm gonna see what I can get. And then those are ones be on OnlyFans, and those are ones that be on, porn sites, and those are ones that be on things of that nature because they say they don't need a woman, even though they like looking at women. Women are not getting married because for all the ones that's strong and independent, it's implicit that y'all were told don't trust a man. Put a one in the box, ladies. If you were told by your mother or a female relative to have a rainy day fund, something just in case that man wouldn't be able to take care of you. So that is I can say almost most women have that, but what that does is that means you have an implicit distrust of men that they will somehow let you go. So you build a contingency plan just in case. Now, quiz, ladies, do you think guys are taught that? Any woman here has a male child. Did you teach your male child to do that?
I sure do. I have a 31-year-old, and I
You told
teach
him,
him to make sure he take care of him. He knows how to cook, clean, manage his own self. I sure do. Because the women are not made like how we were grown back then. That's
and
just
This is
that's
fact.
Tata. This is Tata. I
so.
agree. I have a 14-year-old son, and I teach him. I think, with my daughter, I don't want her. My mom had the same mentality, like that mentality that, my sister and I, we learned how to cook and clean from a really young age, and we had to, be independent. My mom was a teacher in her country, and she came to this country, and she had to work 2 3 jobs and learn the language so she could provide for her daughters. And a lot of times that meant my sister was going to school by herself, my sister had to do homework by herself, I had to learn how to cook and clean. But I'm thankful for those experiences, because like the person that said earlier, those things make you stronger. I my mom did say, like, when you become a wife, these are the things that you have to do. So it's like you're being taught from and this is something that we all do. Like something I stopped doing with my daughter is, we teach our daughters, like from even birth, like you get her Barbies, and you're telling her to play with Ken, and you're so what are you teaching your daughter from a very young age is, you play, and she already from a very young age, she already knows, like, I'm gonna get into a relationship, and I'm already playing mommy and daddy, and she's already playing clean up and my babies. And these are things that we're teaching our kids from youth. When you go to a girl's aisle for toys, you see the pretend Barbie kids, and the makeup, and pretending to be the little cleaning kids. And you see this, and now in this time we're starting to see where you go into the toy aisle and you start seeing girls playing more dress up doctors and more things, and we're starting to see that. But back then that wasn't um always the case. And so it was like, no, that's for boys, or that's no. And so with my son, I'm teaching him to be more sensitive. I'm teaching him keep a lookout to your sister, keep a lookout to, the women that are around you. They said, chivalry is not dead, but we have to teach that. And I do believe that all of that does also come from a place of vulnerability and healing. We get a lot of bad rap for being strong women, but we've had to learn to be that way. When you're a woman raising a man, and you have a son, you have to be strong, and you're holding the fort. No one is meant to be alone. We're meant to connect. But I think a lot of women feel this way because you're raised from a very young age. I give up my last name to take on yours. I give up my body to have your children. I gave up my time to go to school so I could raise these kids, and be able to be a partner and cook and clean. And I'm also working to help you with help have paying half the bills. And it's like you're constantly giving, that by the time that you get to this point, it's like I don't I you don't want to do that anymore. And I think there's a lot of women here that agree with that it comes from that place of these are things that we're learning from a young age. So it starts with each one of us in our homes taking responsibility and taking ownership and saying, okay, this is what I want to do with my kids, and raising them and saying, I want my kids. Like I teach my daughter, it's not just about cleaning. I expose her to things. I let her play with Spider-Man. I let her do other things. I tell her, like, you are, I teach my daughter, she wants to do karate. I teach her to defend herself. I teach her, you know she loves to save money, and expose her to different things, because I don't want her to think that all she is a wife and a maid and have babies. That's not the only thing that she's designed for. She's designed to it's okay to dream. It's okay to have a business. It's okay, like, you can still be a mom and a wife and do all things, but it doesn't have to feel like you're a slave, and it doesn't have to feel like, oh my God, a burden. I think it also, there's a lot of women that, it also you lose your you know, a lot of women don't know how to be vulnerable because you have to feel safe to be vulnerable. And when you're with a man and you're constantly giving and you're being taken advantage of, or you're not being, or it's not being reciprocated, you know, unfortunately you're not healing, and that's what you're still carrying on, and then this is what your children are seeing, and then this is what they begin to repeat, and the cycle continues. So
And you have a point there. But you know, here's my not retort, but here's a little context behind that. A lot of times we don't, we as men don't give our or show our love and provision and protection in a way that a woman's able to receive it sometimes. What you look at as slavery, um, we sometimes look at it as, wow, she's doing all this for me. So what do? We give, and you guys give in a certain way, and sometimes we don't receive it because we're not programmed to receive it, because we might look at it. A lot of guys are socialized, and notice what I said, they're socialized to be like, don't always over appreciate a woman, because if you do that, she'll get spoiled, and a spoiled woman is not good because she loses respect and starts using you. Now, is that true? Not 100%.
No, it's not true.
No, it's not.
Nothing wrong with
It's
it.
not
Being
true.
spoiled.
And that's what, no, but I'm just telling you how men, men were socialized. What we've
Oh,
come to
because
find out. Go ahead,
no,
Doc.
I was getting ready to say, because when a man treat a woman right, baby, it's nothing that woman won't do for that man. Because she the same way she's feeling good, she want her mate to feel good. So when you
Amen.
spoil me, I'm going to spoil him.
I agree, but here's what happens is that, remember what I said in the beginning about getting to know somebody and vetting? A lot of times we let the tingles win. When the tingles win, we allow stuff that we normally wouldn't allow for somebody who we may not be as tingly for. Yeah, if somebody, there could be a guy, a gal that treats you like a king or queen, put you on a pedestal, give you everything you want, and you won't appreciate it. And that's gender agnostic. That's gender agnostic, because I'm not feeling you the same way you feeling me, or you like me way more than I like you. When it works, both people have to be able to say, yes, I'm doing this not because I have to, because it'll build a better relationship. And that's something that, relationships take work. There are ups and downs, there are gives and takes. When somebody's always giving and the other person's always taking, that's imbalance. When somebody's always grabbing and taking and not reciprocating, that becomes a problem. When someone allows themselves to be used, that's a problem. It's all imbalanced, and we must have balance between two people, because if you're not growing together, guess what you're growing? Apart. And on that note, I'm gonna cede my time. I try to keep it under 10 minutes, distinguished brother, but DB, you can get it after me. Go ahead.
I'll step in for him. I guess he's
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. I was saying most women feel like being a wife is a burden, and it's a chore, or being a slave, right? But remember, 70% of divorce is filed by women. Most men have the bad end of the stick when it comes to divorce. They give up more than half of what they own in possession, pay alimony, or give up their house. But I
Well,
believe women have.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
Dr. Phil.
I was getting ready to say, you say most of the divorce are filed by women.
70%.
But do you know why? Because they have become fed up. They have
No,
tried.
because women have
They've done,
unrealistic expectation.
not
Unrealistic.
necessarily, because when a woman is giving 100% and the man is giving what, 25, You
I
think she's going
disagree.
to continue to be there and she's putting all of herself, but that individual is not? Baby, that's shot to the pit of hell. Of course she's going to file divorce, because most of the time, and every woman on this board, you can put a 1 in the box. If you went into a relationship and said, I'm gonna give 100%, and that's just like what's your name said, she was in there, she married for love, this, that, and the other, and it just grew apart because he wasn't given what he should have been given. I always believe we treat people the way we want to be treated. And when a woman goes, most of the time, because women are more emotional, they're going to give of themselves. They're going to at least try on the first go round, maybe on the second or the third. They're like, and I done gave of myself all this other time. I'm going in with a different attitude. But most of the time when women come into the relationship and it's fresh, they giving all that they can give. Okay, going on, Nasty J.
Well, like I said, most women file 70% divorce is filed by women, right? Most men, good men, when divorce comes up, they gotta pay alimony, give up their house or part of the pension plan to the woman, right? And a lot of times, women, if they make more than a man, they choose not to be happy in a relationship.
Hold up. It's changed now.
I think the island is going a little bit too far tonight.
It's changed. The alimony and all of that, especially when the woman is making more, it doesn't work like that anymore.
Oh, yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Why would a man pay a woman alimony when she's the breadwinner?
Because
the judge is not gonna go for that.
Because you got them vagina men who will do that, and they would rather take your alimony money than to go out and find a job to compensate their income.
Those are very rare cases, like one in a million. Very
or
rare.
they necessarily won't grant the alimony to either party.
I have seen millionaires on both ends, and the man has still gotten raked over the coals.
You just use the word millionaires, but we're not talking about millionaires. We're talking about regular, ordinary people.
I have seen cases of millionaires.
And by the way, I just want to make a side note regarding this. In some states, if you are unfaithful and the divorce was based on an infidelity,
True.
if it was infidelity, and this is in Georgia, okay, this is what I believe one of the states is Georgia, is if you can prove that there was an infidelity, okay, because we have Florida is a no fault state. So for those states that are fault states, if you are the party at fault for the break of the marriage, then you are responsible. Almost it's not, you see it almost as a penalty. You have to pay that. Now there's different instances if maybe there was a prenup or if there's children involved, but I know what he's saying, but and the reason I know this is because we were working in human resources at one point, and we had a few employees going through this, and so we found out from different states. So we know that in the state of Georgia, that's why a lot of even celebrities, they choose to do legal separations in certain states. And I believe another state is also New York. So if you can prove in a specific state, it's a fault state. If you were unfaithful and they can prove it and you violated almost like your marriage, then you are at penalty and you would have to pay it. Even if the other party pays more, if you're the faulty one.
You will get hosed in the state of Georgia.
Okay, different strokes, different states, different rules.
Right. Totally. Are we off?
No, I just wanted to run a quick video so y'all can see wrong one. But there's one here where the divorce attorney talks about gender roles and and divorces and
Hey, hold
things
on.
like. And you, although I have to tell you that, what's the last remaining feminist taboo? I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, women marry the handsome musician who's not successful, or the artist, there's a lot of, it hasn't been, there's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told oh yeah, no, you got to give him half your shit, or oh no, you got to pay alimony because he makes 50 grand a year and you make 250. And they're like, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world, and when you tell them they got to pay alimony, they're like, whoa, he's a man. He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work. And then suddenly the whole gender is a construct and there's no such thing. That goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's like, nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony. I've had very, very staunchly feminist clients who changed their mind about how feminist they were when they got told that they were going to have to pay alimony. Just a little something kind of ties into what we're talking about. I'm sorry, DB. DB, you still there?
Okay, for Action Jackson and DB. Anybody home? Knock.
Yeah, sorry about that. I stepped away for a moment. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I completely disagree that she can't be holding
Now, what are you saying you're disagreeing to, distinguished brother? What are you disagreeing to?
Am I coming through clearly?
No, I couldn't hear you. I don't think anyone could have.
Okay. I was saying that through personal experience, I know that in this particular state of Georgia, it doesn't matter what your income, I am not feeding you, go away. It doesn't matter what your income level is, you can be hosed over big time in the divorce proceedings in this particular state. And also addressing the fact that there's a 70% discrepancy with women filing divorces and men and women doing it because they're not happy. Again, from personal experience and dealing with others that have gone through it, it is not always the fact that the woman isn't happy. A lot of times it's the fact that she just decides, I want to do better, or I want to do something different, or I'm just not feeling the love. Even though nothing has changed, we're doing everything we're supposed to do. We're doing everything over and above what we're supposed to do, including the cooking, the cleaning, and everything else, helping out 50-50 as a true 50-50 relationship. But that divorce still comes in. Don't know where the mentality comes from, don't know why it happens, but it is not just the fact that the woman is unhappy in the relationship. Change happens. The guy can be doing everything perfectly, and all of a sudden we get slapped with, I want out. And if
That's lies, because if you was doing everything perfect, then she wouldn't want out.
But maybe because she thought it was
check
making more money
yourself.
to Lady T.
Hold on.
Income.
You have to listen. Sometimes it's not even about the money.
That's not true. There's women that
Okay, let me go
they're influenced by
they're
influenced by the single girlfriends, brainwashing them.
No, because the women, we are strong women. We cannot be influenced. The question is, are you giving that woman time? Are you making her feel like she's the only one in the room, in the world?
All right,
are you taking care of home? Are you helping out with the kids? Are you helping out with laundry, cleaning the house? I mean, are you giving her a day?
Fixing the house, paying the bills?
Because I'm willing to answer that for you.
I'm sure you are.
When I can come home from working a 24-hour shift and I can still, do you need help with the kids? Let me clean the bathrooms. Let me help with the cooking. And there are people that I'm friends with today. I'm not bragging and boasting. They'll tell you the same thing. I cooked. I cleaned. I did yard work. I decided to clean the dirtiest rooms in the house, which is the bathroom, so that she wouldn't have to. I did a year without a car, riding MARTA, walking 2 miles to the bus stop, walking a mile to work.
It wasn't you. It was her.
Just so
you can stop right there. Let me tell you about a marriage. And I have to say this. It doesn't have to be you. It could be male or female. Women get fed up, but they not fed up with you. They just, their eyes or their sights are on something else. Men, the same thing. Men could come home and tell a wife, cook, clean, and consorting. That's their job, but they're working and paying the bills too. They could come home and say to their wife, I want a divorce. A woman could come home to her husband.
I just don't want to be married no more. That's what
yes, it's simple. So don't look at it as you doing everything right or doing something wrong. It's just sometimes people wake up on the other side of the bed, and I'm not going to say the wrong side, and they'll come to you and say, I don't want to be married anymore.
God damn it, couldn't you have said that like in the first 6 months so I ain't wasted my time?
No. You can't put a time on that. No. No, you can't.
And
You can date
remember,
somebody
people come
for
with baggage.
a year,
Women are selfish.
even if they don't have baggage. No, it's not baggage.
I said people come with baggage.
Okay, it's called this thing called life. You could wake up the next morning after having great love making, go in the bathroom, take a shower, go to work, come home the next day and say, I don't want to be married. And you're going to wonder what the hell happened. Nothing happened. It's not you, it's that person. It's either the male or the female. And there's nothing wrong with you or you did anything wrong. It was her. So don't think it was you. That's why I say it wasn't you.
Well, Leanne,
you see,
do you think
they have this thing that say he's not that into you? Or she's not that into you?
him.
Yes, it's vice versa. I'm not male bashing. I'm not female bashing. What I'm saying is that kind of stuff happens. I just don't want to be married anymore.
Yeah, because I agree. That sure did it. She had a great husband, and she said,
yes, he could be the greatest, but
and
she'll
she
say,
just didn't want to be married to him no more because she said she got tired of looking at him. He had gotten underneath her skin.
Just leave and leave me everything and just stop trying to take me out and take everything that I got. Why don't you just walk your happy ass on out the door?
Okay, some women do that too.
I agree.
You didn't
some
say
women
this.
do that too.
They
don't want to be married anymore, and they leave you with everything, including the kids.
Yeah, keep them too.
And they will pay child support. They don't want to be married anymore. They don't want to be a wife. They don't want to be a mother. They're going to pay you child support. They just get up one morning.
Come on.
Said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm telling y'all from experience, not from me, but I have a lot of friends, male and females, and I listen to it.
I have never seen it. I even have a friend right now.
Oh boy, you lost in the shuffle then, because it happens.
It happens all the time. There's people that I've seen women that they just get up and say, I'm done. I'm over it. And it's like, it's the most randomest thing. And they just wake up and they're like, I'm just over it. They drop off their kids and they just disappear. And it's like, they forget about everything. They forget. I mean,
Dr. Feelgood put, it's about communication. Dr. Feelgood, I got to be honest with you. You are saying so much about communication. Let me tell you about a relationship that happens like that. They could be the greatest communicator and they're talking in there. It's just a matter of going to work. Something happens. There's something ticking off in them. And it has nothing to do with anybody doing anything wrong. They could just sit in their car and just sit and cry and just say at the end of the day, I just don't want this life anymore. I want a different life. It has nothing to do with cheating. It has nothing to do with finance. It has to do with something triggered.
Yeah.
Not communication, something triggered.
Back
And
home
they
and
do regret it sometimes at the end of the day that they got divorced. Some people remarry. Y'all ever hear about people remarrying their ex?
never.
Mhm.
That'll
Okay.
never.
It
You are ex
happens.
for a reason.
A reason? Yes,
You're
it is a reason. It's an underlying reason why it happened, but you might can't figure it out.
No, I agree with you. There may be an underlying reason. I'm saying as far as going back to an ex, hell no. You are ex
Mhm.
for a reason. Why am I going to put myself back through that same misery
Well,
again?
that sounds like a topic for next week, guys.
It happens.
Let's wrap it up.
And there's a lot of
We
people
can
that
continue
got
this topic next week.
unresolved. There's a lot of people that have unresolved feelings and they go back to their ex. There's a lot of people also that when you are raised in a certain environment, like toxic environment, it's all you've known. That's what you go back to. If that's all you know, that's all you go. That's what you go back to. But yeah, I mean,
You
I get
all,
it.
I thank you. I thank
Or
you so much because
or
you
they
all
had
got
that
a
life.
lot to say. Guess what, y'all? It is 10:16. I got to break up this good conversation because guess what? Dr. Fabulous got to be up early in the morning.
Or you
But I
back to work,
appreciate,
baby.
yes, God, I got to tell you all, I love you all. The conversation is great. But guess what? We're going to have a part 2 on this. And when I say this, you know what's coming next. I thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure. I'm not even going to go through the roll of all my wonderful crew members of Upscale Love for You, but I'm sure they're saying thank you all for coming. And guess what, y'all? We'll have a part 2, and I'm going to tell each and every one of you smooches and good night.
Smooches.
For that.
Thank you,
Good night. Good night. Thank you, Tata. See you all.
Good
Part
night,
2.
everyone.
Good night.